Are those closest to you, those whom you love and trust and count on the most, are they the ones keeping you from achieving your health goals? To be clear, I'm not suggesting that you've got a bunch of frenemies out there trying to sabotage you on purpose, but I'm sure you've had this experience before. Let's say you just decided to improve your health habits, your eating habits more specifically, and you've had a couple successful days in a row, you feel good about yourself, but then it's Friday night, and as you normally do on Friday nights, you go hang out with your friends, and as you typically do on Friday nights, you all order pizza, shake a few fruity martinis, and find something good to half watch while you half chat at the same time. And when Mindy decides to pass around the chocolate box, you flinch and you take one or two, no big deal. Then a little bit later, another one or two again, and maybe even a fifth, but who's counting? You've got your martini in you and you feel good, but you wake up the next morning and then you feel bad about yourself and about your valuable willpower. Valuable? Fallible. I'm not real sure. I'm French. But en français, faillible. But the problem isn't really your willpower, is it? At least not to the extent that you may think. Had you stayed home, you likely would have stuck to your goal. So stop beating yourself up and instead invest that energy more constructively by looking at whether your friends are part of what's holding you back. And no, I'm not granting you an excuse to blame everybody but yourself for your habits. But what I am saying is that we are a product of our culture. Habits are contagious. Just like if all of your friends are sharing a good video with each other, you are more likely to share it with your extended network too. Our attempts at upgrading our lifestyle don't happen in a vacuum, and it's particularly difficult to stick to our good intentions when they are a departure from what those we love expect from us. A few weeks ago, a good friend of mine learned from his doctor that his cholesterol level had risen and that he was on the verge of needing meds to bring it back down to normal. Dale called me for a few tips because he wanted to tackle the situation naturally without meds, which I fully support. So I came over and met some of his fun-loving family members who were visiting for a few days. We had a good time chatting all together, but I think I really approached the whole thing completely wrong, and I'll tell you why. While we chatted about strategies that Dale could choose from, my goal and my attitude on the inside was to offer Dale empathy for the changes he had to make and the effort that this was going to require. But as soon as we were done brainstorming, his visiting brother said, "I'm happy for you that you have all of these ideas, but you can start next week, when I'm gone." And everybody laughed it off as if this was a loving expression of desired bonding. But in my head and in my heart, I really wasn't laughing. I worried for Dale. And I was like, is this really a loving reaction? Wouldn't something like, "I know a couple of awesome chicken recipes, let's try them this week," have been so much more supportive? Now Dale had to decide between getting along or standing alone. And that really was at the core of his challenge. That's what detracts us all from our goals a lot of the time. But I'm not judging the brother. It is very natural to want things to be the way we know and like them. Group dynamics often evolve when one person steps out of established expectations, so sometimes, unconsciously, others test out whether your changes are worth their adjustments by giving you a little pushback. And think about it from their perspective. Your habits may point out where they fall a little short, so your changes can push your peers out of their comfort zones at a time that they didn't choose. So what can we do about it? The answer is, drumroll please, be the first to establish social pressure so that it works for you instead of against you. Be the trendsetter, and that is best done in two ways. Number one, be the one to tell your peers what's in and what's not. A lot of studies and social experiments led by researchers in various disciplines, including addictive behaviors, consumer research, and social psychology, have shown that social approval and disapproval can be very strong behavior motivators. And that works even when what's said to be the in thing isn't quite all the way there yet. We've seen that mechanism in action many times. Our practices around smoking, drinking and driving, littering, and even safe sex have changed after we started to see publicity telling us what the social norm was even though it really wasn't the norm yet. And these are progressive examples, but sometimes the shift in behavior happens much more quickly. In 1934, an Oklahoma grocery store owner named Sylvan Goldman realized that his customers would stop shopping when their handheld baskets got too heavy. The clever businessman therefore designed the first shopping cart on wheels, the ancestor of what we know today. But the idea wasn't well received at first. Women decided that it felt too much like pushing around a stroller, and that is not the feeling they were looking for when they were shopping. And men were worried that, the handheld basket made them look stronger versus the pushed cart, so they also resisted the convenience. But really, the underlying issue was the social norm. Nobody wanted to be the only one using the new technology. When Goldman hired actors of all ages to go around the store, pretending to be shopping with the new wheeled carts, real shoppers started to use them too. So, back to Dale's brother. Instead of introducing my tips as a deviation to well-liked standards, I should have shared my excitement for emerging trends. It might have sounded something like, "Hey, have you heard about workout snacks? They are all the craze this year. In fact, I even shot a video about them." Or, "Surprise! I booked you guys a dinner reservation at the hottest new spot in town. They're known for their healthy Italian fusion food, and you guys are gonna have a blast." Normally it's 4 weeks just to get in, but I was able to get you a table for this Sunday. Now, I really wonder how the brother would have reacted if he had felt like his preferences were becoming outdated, lagging behind the emerging social norms. It probably would not have been motivating enough for him to reconsider all of his own choices right away, but it might have been just enough nudging for him to not twist Dale's arm into status quo. And that really is all I cared about. Part 2 of how to handle friends who are holding you back is very simple. Be intentional about whom you spend time with and when. Your friends who have a hard time eating a healthy meal, it might be best to meet them for coffee. The ones who twist your arm into heavy drinking at night, time to meet them for breakfast. You can also spend a little bit more time with the friends whose lifestyles support the changes that you are trying to make. Out of his 8 to 10 regular buddies, Dale has a few who like to stay at the local neighborhood bar on weekends to enjoy the games. And he has a few others who do more active things with their kids. I'm sure you can guess with whom he's spending a little bit more time these days. And in doing so, he has encouraged some of the less active buddies to join in on the more active activities. And so the group dynamics have started to evolve. And of course, as you embrace new activities and as you change your own lifestyle, you will meet new people who also like and choose those new habits. And there's nothing wrong with adding a few new faces who can influence you in a positive way to your usual list of suspects. Now back to you. When you want to upgrade one of your habits, think about those whose influence might make you fall off track and take the lead. Tell these lovely people that you're excited to embrace new social norms. Take your attitude of the trendsetter and let them know right away that you don't want to stand alone on this. Your Friday night friends, if they are true friends, they won't want to cramp your style. And while they may not be ready to move away from their beloved pizza with extra pepperoni, chances are that they will be okay ordering from a new trendy spot that also offers sexy minestrone, just to accommodate you. If that's still a little bit difficult for you to do, I get it. Taking the lead can be challenging at times. Remember this quote from my colleague, Mark Cumicek. The difference between a dream and an illusion is your willingness to take action in spite of the inevitable fear and discomfort. And if you still need a little extra final motivation, check this out. It will help you with the discomfort. Thank you so much for being here, my friends. I appreciate you tremendously, and please visit again soon.